Hello, and welcome, my Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your Path of True Love reading. I am your reader, Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, president of Join the Circle Productions, professional intuitive, professional witch, and very, very honored to be doing this work for you all. You might notice if you've been following along, but my subscribers, welcome back, thank you so much, that it's a different setup. It's a different camera. Mercury retrograde hit hard, like the first, really, November 1st, bam! I was like, okay, just technical glitches all over the place. So I found a workaround that actually I like, and I recorded on a digital camera. Definitely you'll notice higher definition than what I was using before, which was just a webcam. And it converts. I do all the editing. It happens so much faster. So there you go. Mercury retrograde doing its thing, right? For the well-being of all. It taught me some stuff. So if you are new to my channel, please do like and subscribe before we're done. I'll remind you at the end, I always do, I am a Virgo. So this is, coming from an earth sign. But if you are new to my channel, the Path of True Love reads that I do every month are about you. Yes, they're about your relationships, but the focus is about you. This is about your healing path, your spiritual path, your heart-centered path, about becoming the embodiment of true love through the lenses of your relationships. In other words, every relationship, familial, romantic, friends, co-workers, even relationships you have with people that you do not know personally but have strong judgments and opinions of, or you really, really love them, right? Politically, maybe not so hot, but if there's a particular celebrity, all of those things are here to help you. And the toxic ones in particular, right? Twin flame soulmates. I left the link down to my videos clarifying twin flames, soulmates, and true lovers. There's some good stuff on there. There's a link down there for, I think, from Matt Kahn, soul contracts, twin flames, and soulmates redefined. Brilliant turnaround, life-changing video for me. As well as I added the Vimeo on-demand link for the classes that I did 2 years ago. There are only 5 of them. The Path of True Love, which is the foundation of the book that I am writing, the ebook, my 3rd ebook, The Path of True Love from a Professional Witch. So there's so much more I've learned in the past 2 years. Holy fuck balls. If you want the background, if you want the foundation of the book, then there will be another book added to it. Go have a look-see, duck-see. Cool. Let's dive in. We're actually going to be reading one card from 7 decks. Now, here's the thing. This is not a quickie read. This is about you, right? So even if court cards pop up and we identify them as signs, sun signs, whatever, because those are written into the cards, it's still about you. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Doing it a little bit differently this time. Every time I do a spread or a particular series of readings like Path of True Love or Twin Flames, my guides are like, okay, this is what we need to do, and I sketch it out and I try it on myself and I go, holy fuck, and then I do it. They're always so right on. So we're going to start with the Caroline Myss archetype deck, right? All the decks that I'm using are in the description box below. I really, as a Virgo, make sure my description box is accurate and timely. So what we're going to be looking at here is the dominant archetype that you are alchemizing from lead to gold, from shadow to light on the Path of True Love for November 2019. And remember, this is for Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. If it doesn't click, if it's not, go check your other signs. Cross-watchers totally welcome, but realize because of quantum entanglement, the message might be for you, right? So let's say you have no planets in Taurus, but you're dealing with a Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. This message could be for you directly, right? So that you're going to have to go with your own intuition on that, just because I've experienced that watching and cross-watching. So here we go. Let's dive. Breathe. Breath is so important. Well, you're going to do it anyway. But the more you inhale and exhale, you're bringing in the chi, the prana, the grace that you need in that moment, and exhaling anything that needs to go, right? So breathe deeply. You don't have to lung bucket. But, just be aware of your breathing. I'll try and remember to say it throughout because I need to do it too, consciously, deliberately too, because your breath is your constant companion in this life, right? Always there for you. So welcome your friend in and let him take out whatever needs to go. Here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, one card, one archetype card to represent the Taurus collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video for, or cross-watcher, for the month of November 2019. What is the archetype they are dealing with on the path of true love within themselves? Their own led to gold. Ooh, the priest. The priest. Now, priestess, and let's not get into the gender conversation. We're talking about an archetypal pattern, priest or priestess here, in the light and in the shadow. So this is a member of the divine family of archetypes. So already you're dealing with your spirituality. Usually I read the light and then the shadow after the Samhain reads. I'll go watch yours if you haven't, because we're in it still. Like we are still in that. I like interweaving my readings that way. They said, no, read the shadow first and then the light. That's what I did in the sound. They're like, do it that way. So that you sort of like get the lead out. Get the lead out of the way, right? So the shadow attribute violates the trust of your spiritual community, seduced by your own spiritual role. So be very, very careful of the spiritual ego. What is the spiritual ego? Go watch some Matt Kahn vids. He talks about it rather often. It's when the toxicity, the ego, both in the collective as well as within our own experience, right? The personality and the ego are not the same thing. Personality is the character you came in to play in this life. You were chosen to play it. Your soul, your immortal, genderless, higher self, whatever you want to call it, was sent the soul to play this role, right? But the ego is like the virus in the machine, virus in the computer. It's the stuff that is actually the divine energy, but that has forgotten itself. It's lead, if you like, that then you alchemize into gold. It's the process of falling asleep and then awakening, spiritual awakening. So the ego can absolutely use spiritual language, right? If you find yourself doing so much spiritual busy work and not getting anywhere, listen to the voices saying, well, but you did, maybe you better do that. But love doesn't do that. That's the ego. So what you do is you embrace that voice in the sense of it really, really trying to teach you something about the pain underneath that, about the fear underneath it. Because if you don't do this, you're not going to get what you want. And that's not the truth. You are going to get all of your hearts and desires manifested sooner or later, but usually not in the way you want and not in the timing, right? If it's destined, if it's written into the character, in the quantum, all of this is scripted. All the possible outcomes have already been determined. That's why when people say time and space is an illusion, that's what they're talking about. The linear illusion of time and space. But it's a game. It's a hologram, right? And you are a character just like a video game, right? Like a single shooter, right, player. You're looking out through the eyes of your character. And so then what's your character? What is your character about? Well, is your character going to abuse its spiritual role, violate? We all know what the toxic priest and priestess is, particularly if you've ever been in a coven that went south fast. Woo! The toxicity, the spiritual ego, the judgment, you know all of that stuff. So just really keep an eye on this, particularly on the path of true love. You could be like, well, you know, if you just open your heart chakra, is that helpful? Is that helpful? That's not love. That's the spiritual ego. So keep an eye on that. It could be a big stumbling block along the way. That's why I keep this shit funny. I keep it real, but I keep it funny. I'm wicked humble about who I am because I alone do nothing, right? Mark Lyons alone does nothing. It's let the divine work through me. That's my prayer every morning, every hour before I do every video, before I do a reading. Actually, I have a client today, spiritual counseling client. We will start with that prayer. So the light attribute facilitates spiritual commitments, serves as a channel of spiritual energy. So spiritual commitments to yourself, right? Facilitates, du facile. It's French, facile, it's simple, right? To make it simple, to make it simpler, to make it easier for others. Spiritual commitments and serves as a channel of spiritual energy. Now, we're all channels of spiritual energy, but spiritual energy is a weird word because it can be lower vibrational spiritual energy like holier than thou. High priest, high priestess syndrome. Seen it. Out of the scorched t-shirt. It's horrible. Horrible, right? Keep an eye on that. That's what you're dealing with on the path of true love for November 2019. Now what we're going to do is because that's the dominant, right? This is like the the big kahuna on this one. We're going to, every other card is going to clarify that one. Cool? I love it. It's still alchemy. I love the language of spiritual alchemy. It's a hoot. I get it. It works. I know how to do it. I've learned how to do it. I was taught how to do it. Crawling through the underbelly of the sub-basement of the underworld. Across salted broken glass and barbed wire. But I'm still here. My youngins, go Google Elaine Stritch, S-T-R-I-T-C-H. I'm still here, or really at Sondheim, I believe. Anyone who sang the song, I'm still here, and I love that they update it every 10 years or so. They really need to do a new one for today's. I was thinking of reinterpreting that for witchcraft, but copyright infringement, no thanks. Raised by a lawyer. So let's ask the angels here. I always make sure these cards are fucking shuffled, so please. There you are, my angels. Please, one card in clarity for this Taurus collective. Oh, I feel that. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, sign on the path of true love. Please clarify for them what's going on with this priest archetype. Well, enchantment. Now, enchantment really is that the divine is at work and you can't see it. That's like the lightest, most positive. The fairies of the universe, like the law of attraction is doing it all for you. But something is not as it appears to be. That's like the Virgo New Yorker in me. 4 planets, 2nd house Virgo. I'm like, something is not as it, what the fuck is going on, right? What's really going on? Something going on behind the scenes. Now, I always love to say, because I learned this from Terry Pratchett, the book Lords and Ladies. I love, bless his soul, wherever I know where you are. Terry Pratchett, you've got to be in heaven having a field day. I hope you come back soon and write. You look at a unicorn, right? He's like, oh, it's a unicorn. It's so enchanted. Now see what's really there. It's pounds and hundreds of, well, not hundreds of thousands of pounds of raw muscle with a deadly weapon on its head, and it can only be tamed by a virgin. And where the fuck are you going to find one nowadays, right? Virgo. I've tamed a few unicorns in my life. So yeah, there's something going on here, right? The divine is at work, and and I'm going to lean more towards that. The divine is at work here for you behind the scenes, that this is enchanted. This month is enchanted for you on the path of true love. Because of that priest archetype, but you really got to keep an eye on that shadow, though. That you think you know what's going on. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Right? Lead or gold. So now what we're going to do is check your feminine energy. We have 2 decks I'm going to do this with. We're going to do the divine feminine in you with Daughters of the Moon. We're going to do the divine masculine in you with the mythic tarot. And these are going to be the 2 dynamics inside of you in relationship with yourself, right? What is the relationship with your divine feminine and your divine masculine? Can you marry? Are they married? Are they in agreement? Like sort of like the divine heart and the divine mind. Well, you still have to use the 3rd chakra to choose what's your conduct going to be when they're not in alignment, right? So this is very helpful, and yes, it may very well mirror the divine, the masculine and feminine personalities, characters in your life. And if it's a direct mirror, then notice that. But, and I've been using this as an example, having just cut a fucking shitload of narcissists out of my life with, I love this image, the Archangel Michael chainsaw. I can cut them, burn it to the ground, sow salt into the earth so they never come back. But you got to get the healing of that the divine feminine, that mirror might feel like, well, then am I a narcissist? If you have to ask if you're a narcissist, you're not. Narcissists have like 0 self-reflection, considering the myth of Narcissus. Go look it up. I talked about it in the Aries thing. So it can be something that they're there to help you heal from perhaps your own codependent patterns, your own people pleaser tendency. Maybe you're maybe you're not a covert empath, but maybe you're a passive narcissist rather than an active narcissist, different than a covert. Did you know there's a whole fucking pantheon of narcissists? Oh, he's such a narcissist. Anyway, you get the grill, you get the drill. Here we go. My goddesses. Yeah, we're doing this different. We're asking the goddesses. My goddesses, Demeter, please, 1 card in clarity for this Taurus collective. Breathe. Yes, mama. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, sign on the path of true love. Who's got the priest archetype, please clarify that. Considering enchantment, it would be helpful. What's going on in the divine feminine in this Taurus collective watching this? Victory. Oh, hello. I thought I had turned that off. Victory. I'm sorry for any electronic boops. I closed it down. It's supposed to be in sleep mode. It's still making noise. Victory, right? Overcoming something. The Seven of Flames. Now I know in the traditional Rider-Waite that's the Six of Wands. This is the Seven of Wands. But I love that card. It's like victory, which means not just forward motion. Seven, a number of spirituality and transformation. Seventh chakra, that there's real forward motion. And if I look at these cards together, they're galloping toward the enchantment. They're all facing in that direction. And also what I love about that card is they are running. The horses are running. The horses are on the track. They are running on cooling lava, right? So whatever it is, there's an element of you overcoming something here in the divine feminine, overcoming something in the interior world, right? The emotions, the soul, the sensitivity, right? All of that divine feminine stuff. And, you know, Taurus is a feminine sign, regardless, feminine energy sign. See, that's why I wish we could adopt the more Eastern terminology of yin or yang, but people, you know, they don't know what that is. Most of them, I'm sure you do, but, you know, so divine masculine, divine feminine is the colloquial stuff that's being used, so that's why I'm using it, though I prefer yin and yang. Let's ask the gods. My gods, please, one card in clarity for this Taurus. There you are, Taurus collective. Ooh, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign for November 2019 on the path of true love. What is going on with their divine masculine energy? Oh, Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords. Sneaky shit. Okay, Seven of Swords. Trying to get away with something, or, wow, also stealing away in the night. Stealing away in the night because of a victory on the inner, the inner, the yin, the yang is like, we're the fuck up out of here. Let's go. Off like a prom gown. We are out of here. We are out of here. And it's doing it under the cover of night. Either, you know, you can still do it at 12 noon, but there's something there about you getting the fuck out of this and getting the fuck out of it quickly. Post haste. Really feeling that in my gut. Really feeling that in my body. My second chakra is going, mm-hmm. It's like, there is, because of this enchantment, you don't know what's really going on. And this isn't just about the Hermit card pulling into yourself. This is like picking up roots and walking away. That there's something sneaky and shadowy going on here. And your response, you may not, if you're being sneaky and shadowy about it, I get it. But there's something here. There is, and usually that's like very Eight of Cups, walking away. This is like, I'm out of Dodge, not telling anybody what I'm doing. I am out of here because it's being done. It's coming from an internal place of victory and moving forward. So that sort of kind of alchemizes the lead. It's like, it's okay. Like if you are in a toxic, abusive situation. And by the way, even if you were dealing with a covert narcissist, go look it up. Holy fuck. It blew my mind at like the bandage around the Eight of Swords was ripped the fuck off. And I saw, holy fuck balls, traced it all the way back to my dad. Covert narcissists, they go for people who are nurturing and warm and caring so that they can bleed them dry. Now that doesn't mean they're horrible souls, it just means they're fucked up personalities because they have no lack of, lack of self-worth. So it's all a game. They're trying to get your approval, your love, your care because they can't give it to themselves. Twin flames, right? So if you really like off like a prom gown, I'm done with this, I'm sneaking away. Yeah, maybe it is ghosting, but if it's ghosting for a sense of victory, of you really clearing yourself, right? To facilitate spiritual commitment to yourself, to say, no, I'm committing to my spirit. I'm committing to my path. I'm committing to my own spiritual process so I can be a clearer channel of spiritual energy. That's hot. Paris Hilton. She's still alive. How could I possibly be channeling her? Oh, maybe from the 90s. I'm still channeling her. The early OOs. Let's ask the masters, not about that. About you. My masters, please. Breathe. Wow. There's a lot going on here. Some of you, I don't feel like, oh, maybe you are running for your life, but you're running for your life in victory. you know, for your own psychological, spiritual well-being. Hell, it's Mercury retrograde, right? Everything, it feels like everything's in Scorpio right now. We are in Samhain. Yeah, definitely you might want to go check your Samhain Mercury retrograde reading, although I don't remember what I said in it, but, you know, that was last week. I have no idea. So let's ask the masters here to clarify, please. My masters, please clarify, because this just took on a little bit more of a like a little bit more So please, my masters, one card in clarity for this Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign on the path of true love for November 2019. This priest archetype with enchantment. The angels say enchantment. The goddesses say their internal, their yin is victory. The gods are saying their divine masculine is sort of taken off for the best reason, right? In victory, walking away silently under cover of night. So please, can you give us some clarity for this Taurus collective watching this video? Tryst. Tryst. Well, are you stepping out? I don't feel, now look, again, I can say, well, for a cross watcher, maybe you're the one they're stepping out with. Taurus, the thing about Tryst is, in this deck, it's a luck card, right? It's the suit of luck, right? There are 4 suits in this deck. Problems, the womp womp cards, healing, grace, and luck. So I don't get a horrible feeling about this, but it feels like because of that card of the priest, this is what's making this tricky. And with that card of enchantment, something going on behind the scenes, like there is a storyline here, that there is perhaps a spiritual thing going on here, but it's enchanted. You don't know exactly what it is. But that the divine feminine is saying, go for it, victory, victory, victory. The masculine energy in you, the divine masculine, is saying, we're doing this, or maybe I need to sneak away from it because, well, either because you're going for the tryst or you're saying no to the tryst. One or the other. Letter gold on that. Of course, you're going to know your situation. So there are a couple of different scenarios that play itself out here, and it feels a little 50-50. Well, so let's get this in. That's why we're going to keep going. But that's an interesting card. But it's luck. It's the luck card. It's the luck suit. It's not a problem suit. Because, you know, trysting, when it's, let's say, the golden tryst, you're sneaking away for a kiss. You're sneaking away for a kiss with somebody that is completely okay to be with, right? There's no shadow in it. There's no shame in it. Maybe you're not telling everybody. Maybe you're not telling anybody about this. I understand that completely. I am a Virgo. For me to change my Facebook status, it's already been in play for for a while. I don't do it that often. So, you know, so that's really, really fun. But then really you're looking at your spirituality is a big part of this, right? So tryst is what turns this, for me, into a romantic sexual thing, an attraction. So that's why we're going to ask the higher selves of all involved for a whisper of love. Breathe. Let's get a nice good breath in there. God, it just always works, doesn't it? Higher selves of all involved, please, one card in clarity for this Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign on the path of true love for November 2019. We got the priest, we got enchantment, we got victory, we got 7 of swords, we got tryst. What say you? What's going on for the Taurus collective being watching this? Love endures. Love does not give up or lose faith. Love is hopeful and withstands every situation. Now, faith, indicated there in the light attribute of the priest archetype, priest, priestess. Love is hopeful and withstands every situation with victory. So whatever this is, love endures. The path of true love is telling you to endure in love. Now, does that mean you endure in toxic situations? That's up to you. But if abuse, neglect are going on, walk. Walk. If that's this situation where you are in victory and walking away from something that was hidden and toxic and enchanted at the same time, walk. Pick up your bed and walk. Go anywhere else than where you are. Really, seriously. Anywhere else than where you are. Where do you want me to go? The divine says, see the spot you're sitting on here? Anywhere else but that. Walk. Pick up your bed and walk and endure, because love endures. But, however, if this is a real, like I said before, and it can go either way, that this is something that is healthy, but that might need its time in its development, and you're trysting right now and keeping that shit secret, I get it. But that this love endures. Just keep loving. Just love yourself, right? Do keep your spirituality central in mind, but be aware of the spiritual ego, right? One big thing about the spiritual ego, I know for sure, because I've heard it in my own head. It's like, well, you know this. Why don't you? The grace of humility. Know that you do not know. The grace of humility is my saving grace. I learned it through Caroline Myss, MYSS, hence her archetype cards. That was entering the castle. The grace of humility transformed my life. It really inspired me to write my second ebook, Words of Grace from a Professional, which I call that my saving grace, and everybody has a saving grace. So the book is really a book of prayer, but the grace of humility is the very first one that I go into. So that was just wonderful. But now we're going to use to end it, the Journey of Love Oracle deck, which I love. But because it's new, I got it up in Saratoga a couple of weeks ago visiting my family. I love this deck. It is mind-blowing every single time I use it. So I'm going to read from the book. Like, I don't have all these memorized yet. There are some of these I've maybe looked at once or twice, but the ones that have popped up, I'm going to read from the book, because the author is way more eloquent on what these cards are than I am at this point, right? But eventually they'll be, sort of like all the other cards, right? So let's do this. These are wonderful. Alana Fairchild, Rasuli, and Richard Cohen. One's the author, one's the artist, one is the poet, because there's poetry in here. And they're really quick. They're worth it. Breathe. God, it just always works. My collective pantheon of angels, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please. One Journey of Love card for this Taurus collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign on the path of true love for November 2019. Please. We've got the priest archetype, the card of enchantment, the card of Seven of Flames victory, the Seven of Swords, sneaking away for something, the Tryst card, and that love endures. Please. One card of clarity for the Taurus watching this or cross watcher. The bride offers herself. Does she now? The bride offers herself. Number 43. I never read this one. The bride offers herself. Here we go. Breathe. There is a sacred offering taking place. An offering of the divine feminine. Offering victory. She is offering herself to the mystery unfolding. This may manifest in a physical way, in that of a woman of great feminine wisdom is offering herself to you in friendship, love, spiritual companionship, or service in some way. Or maybe that's what you're doing as the priestess. This may manifest in a spiritual gift from the Divine Mother in the forms of a life circumstance or situation, whether it is immediately recognized as a gift or not. To accept this offering as a bridegroom accepting his bride with love, reverence, and respect will bring good fortune. Now, good fortune, that's not a term I've read in this book before, that idea of good fortune. This oracle offers you a message. Accept what is being offered now, whether through challenge or an easing of the way forward. There is a gift of grace from the divine feminine reaching for you now. Allow her in and be blessed. This oracle also heralds a time of importance in relationship. You have been revealing yourself and not being afraid of who and what you are, sharing yourself in willingness to connect. Your vulnerability and beauty is acknowledged and will attract the response you need at the perfect time and in the perfect way. Every bride shall have her bridegroom. Well, ain't that just worth the whole time of this reading? That's why I save it for last. Cherry on the Sunday. Now the poem. How careful must we be close? Trist. How careful we must be close. How fragile we must feel. How sad not to be when someone is real. To say approach with caution when we already know that inside there's a likeness and experience goes slow. Your internal stuff is going great. Let's put this all together. Pieces of the puzzle. You are the priest, priestess, archetype, alchemizing from lead to gold. Totally about being a channel of spiritual energy, but it's enchanted, right? You're not supposed to know what's happening while it's going on. You're just being led through it. But ultimately this month, it is about an internal victory, about a galloping forward. You know, even if the situation is hot, like hot feet, like galloping on lava, you are moving forward. But the divine masculine is like, nobody needs to know about this shit. Nobody needs to know about this shit, particularly because there is a tryst going on. There is something hidden going on here, but something that I can feel it is delicious and exciting, and a kiss and a tryst kiss. Hashtag tryst kiss. That's hard to say. It's like Trisket. Because the love here endures. Your love will endure no matter what happens with this tryst, no matter where it goes. Because the bride is offering herself. This is a gift of the divine feminine for you to heal. Just be open, be receptive, but be wise, right? Priest, priestess. Know that you don't know. Be willing to be shown, because the divine feminine, which is represented, well, the divine mother in the way the card was written, but the divine mother, you've inherited the qualities of the divine mother. Why? Because you're the child of the divine mother. Of course you have the qualities of both the divine mother and the divine father and the divine masculine and divine feminine within you. That is a mouthful I just said there, but I'm used to, you know, I have no gag reflex. So this is a very, very, very powerful, very, very healing, very, very spiritual read. So go, you know, the bride offers herself. Go to the goddess. Go to, you know, whether it's the Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Kali, Demeter, Aphrodite, Hera. By the way, if you ever zoom in and look at all this stuff behind me, this thing is just filled with Ostar eggs. I won't call them Easter eggs. Ostar is all sorts of symbolism. There's a whole tarot card behind me. And, you know, I know that my gods do not dwell within the plaster and metal. But they're pin codes there, right? So maybe, you know, turn yourself to the divine, turn yourself into the divine, ask for the guidance and the grace to get this victory, even if covertly. So cool. Thank you so much for watching my bulls, my Taurian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Please do like and subscribe if you're new. This is a lovely spread. Go check out your, you know, your other signs. And really, I keep hearing for you in particular, and I don't know that I'll say this for all the other reads. It's like, go check your Samhain read. Even if you watched it, go have a look-see again, right? It's like some of these you want to put in your watch later because you might forget about them, which is fine. But then you go back and look at them and you go, oh, fuck, I nailed it. Or, oh, fuck, that's what that was. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. I love you. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed on the path of true love for November 2019. But for now, hail, farewell, and blessed be.